The last item on this evening's agenda is information technology. And former city councilor and department head, Mr. Phelan. Welcome, Chuck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, councilors. Just a brief little description of the budget. I know it's getting late, so I'll start with, so you see where the increases are. There is an increase in my budget. One of the positions is for a Quincy technician, which was a position that was previously in the department, where the person will work as a trainer to train in the financial software, and also in various Microsoft and different software packages we use. There was also an increase in contractual lines, and in the contractual lines, we have several software packages, everything from the financials for the city to the police, which we do the police and fire dispatch, we're responsible for that. There are contractual increases in those software packages that has led to that, a lot of that increase. There was also a document management system, which we put into the financial software, and that's what that increase is. There's also a $10,000 increase in equipment costs. As you can see in our equipment lines, we've been out of money for the last 2 months, so it's definitely needed. And there's also a 2% salary adjustment to all city employees. I'm the only non-union person in my department, so it's 2 contractual, one's through the QPA and one is through the supervisors union. And that's basically what I got for the budget. The rest of it is pretty much local funding.
Amazing presentation. You can definitely tell that you've sat in the seat. You get us, right? You get us. So maybe not about movie. Nobody gets it. Councilor LaForest was.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to Chuck. Chuck, I appreciate the workload for you. Tell me about the document management system that you've got coming in.
It will basically take all, right now we did put up the employee portal, we're using it in the school department, we're also using it in the police department. But it doesn't really give you like a W-2, it doesn't give you your pay advices. It will give you the totals, exactly what the totals are. But if you're going to do a refinancing on your house or something like that, you need the actual W-2. We still go through the process of the municipal finance requests and we print them out. This would give every employee their own portal with the username and password, and they could go and pull their pay advices, pull their it would streamline and make it a paperless process. When we're doing warrants, when we're doing all this, instead of having when we get warrants, they're like this big and they get stuck in a file cabinet. This would put these into an electronic cabinet, and we wouldn't have to keep all the paper that we do at this point. It would streamline greatly in the areas, the financial areas. The document management is for the financial system, and that's probably what generates our most paper.
So what do you anticipate the cost savings to be when this is implemented to the various departments?
Well, we definitely cost savings on paper because you won't have to be printing out a lot of things that you know.
What about human capital?
A box of paper, much as a box of paper. Right now, when we have warrants, they can be like this big. I mean, and there's probably 5 of them done.
And so how are they going to be signed by the department head's electronic signature?
The electronic signature, they can do that, yes.
Right, so right now, a warrant makes its way around for all the various departments who have to have, sign-offs on it.
There's sign-offs on it. We recently, with all the employees, we took all the employees, the mayor started a program where we wanted us to begin to utilize. We used to do paper and sign every bill that came in, and now we have, in every department, we've trained people, the secretaries in those departments. And it's actually the way the software is supposed to work, anyways. And they've been trained, and they are now reporting their things. When we had days off of vacation days, we used to all go back to the human resources department, and maybe 3 weeks later, vacation time, sick time would be taken off. Now it's being done by the individual departments. Every individual department is entering their own, they're responsible for their own. Each department had to pick a person to be in charge and also a person for backup. And we recently trained, so that will I don't know the exact amount of dollars it will save. It will make the system much more efficient.
Well, I
much
think
more-
the workload of the staff will free up substantial time. I think that's the biggest value, right, that we see. So I think twofold is that, for example, as city councilors, we get our pay stub in the mail every week. So you're printing the pay stub, your machine is folding and putting it in an envelope, and then it's being sent to the post office and mailed, and, just kind of time value versus now we're gonna get a link, log on, you wanna look at your pay stub, make sure your money got in, here it is.
It
No
would be
paper.
like you do with your bank. You have your own account, you have your thing, you go and look at your bank statement, and that's basically, that's what it will be.
So that's the employee side of things, and then on the municipal finance side of the house, the governor's department, what you're talking about is the warrant paperwork moving through each department, having that streamlined through an electronic process. So walk me through when they're issuing a contract out to, let's say, contract, and I hear a lot about this, say, projects in my district. I'm gonna take an engineering firm. The engineering firm gets engaged on the project, we're waiting for the contract paperwork. Is this something that they,
That could-
contract is
that
going to
could be
sign
worked in.
electronically?
That
Is
could
that,
be work that we haven't addressed that.
you haven't addressed that yet?
We have not.
Let's work smarter, not harder. I mean, I feel like we still need to modernize our systems, and I feel like every department I've talked to as I've come up here, this is the questions we're asked, what are the tools that we're doing? So is that the module that we have, or is that still a module we need to buy?
No, it's not.
It's in-house. Okay, the other, one of my biggest frustrations.
One of the things here is a trainer, and that's one of the places we've been lacking for a number of years, because a lot of the stuff, we already have the software to do it, but
We
unless
just don't know how
you
to
sit
use it.
somebody down and train them to actually do these functions, like when we did the payroll, which seemed very easy, which should have been done, we would sign the sheets and send them over. Now each department is entering those, so as a department head, I know exactly where people are on vacation, sick time. So when we're coming down the end of the fiscal year, I'm not gonna get rushed last week for people trying to, where I have to reject people from going out on vacation. And it just set off a lot of problems to make sure somebody's backed up, come fill, make sure that that job gets done, if that person's out. It's much more efficient. And one of the reasons I'm bringing in the trainer is specific, I requested the trainer's position, is for that specific reason, to really start going down and showing people how to do things.
So the other thing I want to talk about, a little bit more on the IT strategy side of the house, is we had a lot of department heads come before us, and each one of them might have asked technology questions, and they have said Excel spreadsheet, work orders. What is it that your department does to facilitate the modernization of business practices and technology from all of the departments in the city?
We work with every department. I'm going to go and talk to Mr. France. I have been sitting down, we have partially written a system for Christmas signing.
Yep.
We had the other people where Chris left and the new person came in. We have not got back to it, but we can definitely sit down and go through with them.
So that's your role, is what the products are out in the market and what it is
A
for them.
lot of
to
times
use.
we facilitate by making sure the server, the network is safe. I've been to seminars where I've had towns and met with IT directors who were taken over by the ransomvirus. Their entire system was, they paid them, they got their entire system wiped out anyways. So when we're doing something, we also have to first secure the network. We have to first make sure people are working in a secure environment. When we're in financials, we have to make sure first that people work in a secure environment. We're responsible for people's social security numbers. We're responsible for things like that. Those are the biggest targets right now that people want. So first we start out by providing the network, by providing this safe, secure area. We have to provide a separate network for both the police, the fire, and public safety. They're not on the same network as the city. Then we have to also provide a third network for the school department, because what somebody can look on a PC in first and second grade is very different than what, say, somebody would be looking at in the city council, the mayor's office, or anything like that, or down in the detective's office in the police station. So we first start with that. We have been lacking a little bit in that area, and that's one of the reasons I've been requesting for a trainer, to bring a trainer in. We used to have one, and when we went through the downturn in '08 and '09, we lost that position. And that's one of the reasons I requested that position back, is so we can start going into departments and training it. Mostly, a lot of times, it's the squeaky oil that gets the wheel. We have 13 people that actually work in IT, that actually do the IT job. There's a secretary, there's a telephone operator, which really don't do anything technical. So we start with the police. Our first thing is to keep the 911 system up and running. So if there's an emergency, you make a call in desperation to 911, then your call's going to get through. It's going to be computer-aided dispatch. The radio network that we're also responsible for is there working. So when those police officers and firefighters are in a situation that their calls are working, then we do the financials to make sure everyone can get paid. Then we go down to the school system. Then we start going down to the individual departments. And we work like, we've been working for the last 2 years with Jay Duca down in inspection services. I think he's come light years away from what he is. But it wasn't done overnight. It took a couple of years period of time. And we'll sit down and work with every department. And like I have one real programmer, and he's got 7 departments to work for.
So I
a
guess
lot of
my
our
point is
network-
how under resources, just like we talked about traffic and parking, that I've always felt, and I've shared this with you all 8 years that I've been up here, is that your department's under resourced. And I think I'm just looking for what the advocacy is, what the needs are, what are the cross departments, and utilizing technology that communicates across the department. So I guess, one, I just have a couple questions. I'm going to get into the new website, but one of the things we talked about was moving the network to the cloud. Did that ever come to fruition?
We have a
The
private
servers?
cloud right now that we use.
And so
We
that
have
is
everything-
transitioned?
We have what's called virtualized.
Yeah,
We virtualized more than
The
4
backup.
years ago.
yes. Is
We
that
want,
being completed? That
we have
project is
data,
completed?
that's what a cloud is.
Right.
A cloud is using VMware, is creating the environment. Have we moved to the cloud on anything else? Where we're using, now there's a discussion on that.
Yeah,
Because if you get to a private cloud, and like Microsoft has a cloud, Google has a cloud, Amazon has a cloud, and there's various levels of security. Right now, we have not made the jump to the cloud because first of all, we're responsible, like say we do emails.
yeah.
We've got to come up and somebody turns around and says, I want all the emails, and we've had this happen for all the city councils for the last 2 years. I have to produce those. Or I want them, all the ones that went to Manco, I have to produce those. And I will go out and we archive every email that comes in, and we archive that. We are looking for a new email system that will go to the cloud, that will be on the Microsoft Cloud,
That's next to why that's at
which
one
is
of the deck.
Microsoft 360. I look forward to discussing that with the city council. I know that's not on tonight's agenda. And
Well, that's my next question. So I guess I want to know where we were on the server, because there was a lot of talk that each time you're up, you're like, oh, we're going to move to the cloud, we're going to virtualize, and, it doesn't seem like we're fully made
We
that merger.
went from having 45, we would have right now 60 servers in our data center. We have 10 servers in our data center. And every critical function is up and running on a 99%.
Yep.
The only time we're basically taking it down is when we take it down. We replicate all our data at the EOC down at the Parks Department. We also back up all our data every night. We had an incident down in Sterling where we were hit with the ransom virus, and Sterling was back up and running in a couple hours because we were able to, we had virtualized, we were able to take the server that was there, basically segregate it, spin off a new server, which 5 years ago, the council gave me the money to do it. That's why I was able to, that's why you never heard about it in the newspaper, you never heard about it anywhere, because there was no effect on anyone. We didn't pay anybody any money. Several of the towns, I went to a seminar for the Mass IX professionals, where a lot of them sat there, and we had the Auburn IT director, and he had got totally taken over by the ransom virus. All their computer systems down for 2 weeks. They had the FBI in, and they had no answer. And they paid them the Bitcoin, and they still scrambled all the data. So,
Okay, let's talk about the new website. Project's a long time coming, it's finally completed. We're pleased with the launch and the product and its completion.
where we've got to right now We went through several challenges with it.
Yeah.
We went through, we bought the company who got the low bid. That company was bought and sold 3 times while we were doing the website. So that delayed it. We had a long-term medical disability for the analyst who was in charge of the website.
I mean functionality-wise.
Functionality-wise,
Because we're not 100%, right? There's still some tweaks coming.
we're still tweaked. We haven't made the final payment. We're still going through a punch list right now with them. We're down only a few items. We have, we're right now at the last phase with the Apple Store to launch the app. We have an app coming.
Okay.
And that is almost ready to launch. I'm
Apple
saying by
Android,
July
so-
1st, we'll be launching that.
So I guess that's going to roll into 2 things. You talked about Microsoft 365, and one of our biggest frustrations up here is, in particular, as a board member, I get a very high volume of email, like very high volume, and all kinds of issues of not coming through. I'll still get the email, people get an error, it doesn't get to me. You can't have a reply arrow, so it won't sync with anything to know, yes, I replied to this email. I mean, it is unusable, the system that you have now. A lot of us have,
It was a stopgap measure. I came in here back in '08. The email system was in a basically total decline.
well, 9 years from
We
here
we
we are,
came-
2017,
we came
it's
in-
a total decline.
We lost over $500,000 in my budget that year.
Yeah,
And we used this product called Ipswich Mail, which cost us $20,000. It was fairly inexpensive. It works. It's clunky, but it basically works. But it's,
we're losing so
we-
many
we've
hours
out-
of
we've
human
out-
productivity because of
we've
poor
outstretched,
service.
we have outstretched that product more than a couple of years.
So what in this budget is going to solve that issue?
That issue is still going to be there. One of the problems is a lot of times when, even when you go to Microsoft 360, you're going to get more room because you get the cloud and you can have more room. But one of the problems we run into a lot of times is you got to delete some of your emails. And even on Microsoft,
But
if you don't delete the emails, they just charge you more money.
But-
So even in 360, there are limits to how much you can store on the emails.
But as city councilors who need to, hey, I sent that to traffic 5 years ago and it's still in the pending matter, or you're concerned about having this email be FOIA, right?
Right.
How do you then delete your emails? Because you have them archived?
We archive everyone. We have to, by law, we have to.
So,
Everyone in the city, I archive their email. With the public records law that's out there today, we have to be able to do
right,
so.
but
We have to produce things on a regular basis.
but we as the end user also need to be able to search our mail, find things, when someone says, hey, where's that standing, right? So I need to have access to that mail versus, oh, it's archived, it's something about an accessibility issue. So that's been one of my biggest frustrations. The other thing is, consistency of the constituent management system. And I haven't looked at it now that we've been on the new website, but have we launched the old constituent management system? Are we still utilizing that product?
It's a brand new one.
It's what?
It's a brand new one.
So we've launched a brand new one, but it doesn't sound like any of the departments who have come before you for their budgets are using it.
Every one of them has been trained in it. We'll discuss that with Larry and constituent service, but I haven't got any complaints or anything like that with it. So I will take a look at it.
Yeah, because I used to get kind of like BCC'd on some emails, the constituent request would come in and we'd know, hey, what's happening, with this tool. It was great for me kind of understanding in my district what people's concerns were, and it went into the system, but it's like Neverland. So I feel, I'm just looking for some modernization of business practices through the utilization of technology. And I don't see it crossing all of the departments, and I looked at IT as sort of my question has been, is it you driving the IT strategy throughout the departments for the mayor's office, or is the department supposed to drive their own IT strategy? So for example, I know the police department, they have IT who's on your staff, but it's basically assigned to them. And one of your employees, right, is driving their IT strategy.
He is, we meet once a month, and I meet with the police on a
Yeah.
regular basis, on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
And we go over where we want the police to be, where they want to be, what they need in the budget. We work with them very closely.
and I get it, obviously, we want them at the cutting edge of technology, you know, their new website that they have launched with some really great tools that, you know, it's an interesting integration into our website, and again, you want it all in one house, but I look at, I think a lot of the other departments need that communication and consistency as well.
No, with the mayor, we started an initiative, a lot on financial systems, with a lot of training. One of the reasons I'm looking for a trainer is this, we used to have regular trainings on a weekly basis where departments could sign up for them and stuff like that. That's exactly what I'm looking for, because the tools are there.
Munis doesn't have a webinar, hey, watch this webinar, usually you can walk it through. I mean, you would think some of these are mainstream software programs, they're not, you know,
Well, I think
secret squirrel how to.
you get people at all different levels when they come in. We get some people who may have worked at like a State Street or something. They'll come in, they're sharp, they're really good. And then other people come in with less skills. And one of the things we fall down on a little bit is we don't train them. And I think that's one of the areas that we're looking to fix.
And then someone, when you talk about performance management, right? You know, if this is what the expectation is, these are the tools before you're doing your job, I need you to do the tools. It's outrageous. So we're talking about Munis. For 2 years, we had a resolution on that, I think 4 years ago. And here it is. Yeah, no one knows how to use the software. I'm embarrassed. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Council Palmucci.
It's interesting that you talk about ransomware, Chuck, because that is part of the business plan of Palmucci's Hipster Nightclub. Once you're in, you have to pay us in Bitcoins to get out. My question was, you were sitting in the audience when, I think when the Parks Director was up here talking about their workflow. Is it pencil and a pad of paper?
Yes.
Did you hear that? So we have the...
notes of it too.
Okay, that was literally all I wanted to... Someone should make a call there and say, hey, we can do things a little bit better, so keep up the good work.
Thank you, Council.
One more spreadsheet.
Any further motion? No. Council DeBonne.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mrs. Phelan, thank you for all these different advancements. I want to talk a little bit about the fire department and the police station. Some of the stations around the city, I've talked to Chief Barron. He talked about how important the technological advancements of some of that stuff that you got this past year into his stations and how important that data and information can be. Can you elaborate a little bit more in that field of what he's talking about?
One of the things that we lacked in a lot of the stations was we were using old internet lines. And one of the things that the councils gave us was allow us to run dark fiber to every fire station. If we had gone through and gone through Verizon and probably been paying or another carrier, we would have been paying about $1,100 a month to hook all those stations up. Instead, we put our own fiber up, we lit our own fiber, and now that gives the bandwidth to these fire stations that they did not have before. And that gives them the ability to look at a system that I know the Chief Barron and the police department. It's where they put it. Basically, it's iPads that go into the fire engines, and it allows them to know. It integrates with our GIS. It integrates with our firehouse software. It integrates with our QED software. It allows them to know if they're going into a fire, if there's hazmat materials and stuff like that. The firefighters are spending. They have $30 grand that we've already spec'd out what they need for their iPads, and they're going to be taking that and spending that on the iPads. So that's money that was donated to the fire department. And there's also a software piece that's in Chief Barron's budget that's going to allow us to go out and hook them up. So this would give them a GIS map when they're showing up to a fire. They know what direction the ladder trucks are coming in. You don't want to bring them both to the front, maybe one goes to the back, one goes to the front. And it's currently in use by the city of Cambridge. And I know the people because I sit on the Jurassic Board, which is the Homeland Security Board, that goes over technology and interoperability amongst communities. And that's where the idea came from, was Cambridge. And it's a fairly It's a program that's not that expensive to run and maintain because it uses your current software that you have. It just melds it all together, puts it in a usable interface for the fire department.
This is very important for technological advancements for the city of Quincy, especially with the Quincy and fire. We're dealing with saving people's lives, and every second counts, and preparing and getting onto sites where fires are and other calls that you have this technological stuff, this IT information that's there and ready to use. I just say that's you're a department, right? You're a person that's very important to the city of Quincy on us moving forward. We talked a little bit about the schools meeting earlier about the technological advances they need. We always need to be updated with these. So when it comes back to us about appropriate funding for these type of items, it's very important that we don't fall behind as a municipality, that we actually are looking forward to using other software and fiber optics and all these other things that can move us into the next direction.
Well, the money that was given to us by the city council, through the mayor and approved by the city council, we have taken that, we've put fiber in every city building, every school building now has it, and over the summer, we're gonna be hooking all of this stuff up. We've gotta run some lines, we gotta do some stuff that we really can't do in the schools during school hours, because we're gonna have to drill, we're gonna have to do some things. We will be doing that over the summer, that's already in the works with the summer project. So the PCs are all installed, all up, all the needle boards have been installed and put up, all the fiber optics have been installed. And, you know, that's gonna probably take care of things for about 10 years.
Thank you so much, Chuck, for all your time. Thank you.
Councilor
Thank you, Chair. I make a motion to approve.
motion approved. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Coleman.
Yes.
Councilor Harris.
Yes.
Councilor Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor LaFarge.
Yes.
Councilor Liang.
Yes.
Councilor Calmucci.
Yes.
Chairman Crowe.
Yes. 7 members, the motion passes. Chuck, thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much, councilors.
Thank you everyone for coming out tonight, participating, councils especially, members of the administration. With that, I close this finance committee meeting at 10:01.
Hey, Chuck. Somebody got all of our emails?
What?
Somebody got all of our
No, actually, it was back when Frank called me.